Ramesh, can you hear me? I can't hear you if you're saying something.
Yes, Saloni, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Shini. Looks like Ramesh is not able to hear us. Srinivas Yanam, are you there?
Yes, I just
Okay, I
before.
think okay.
Yeah. I just because of my wife, so actually I joined.
Okay,
I
you are
was
joining
already
on behalf of
yeah.
Yeah, okay,
So
got it.
yep.
Okay, fine. Ramesh, can you hear me? Shrini, can you check with Ramesh? I think his audio is having trouble. Can you help him out? Once again, guys, let me ask Shrini to help him out. Bear with me for a minute. Once again, Shridevi, I'm just waiting for Ramesh to fix his audio and then we'll start the demo. Okay. So let's start with the basic overview of what is ServiceNow. Any one of you who knows anything about the tool? Shivas, I'm muting you. Unmute if you have any question for me. So let's see, guys, what is the simplest definition? If anyone asks me the simple one-liner like what is ServiceNow, let's see how do we see that. So ServiceNow is nothing but it is a ticketing tool. The simplest definition will be that it is nothing but it is a ticketing tool. Now the question arises over here in this case that, okay, when I'm saying so, what does it mean? It means at any given point in time that tickets, the name itself says that tickets of certain kind will get created over there. Okay. So When I say so, tickets of certain kind, now what all scenarios it could be? Let's explore a bit around that. So this is something like what the tool looks like. Obviously, the technical aspect is what we will be seeing in this course. So when I'm saying, like, anyone asks me that, okay, what is ticketing tool? What my answer will be around that? Let's explore a bit around that. So ticketing tool means nothing but tickets are created, but which kind of ticket? Let's get an answer around it. Let's say, guys, all of us, we are working for a ABC company. In that case, let's say I joined the company today. So the minimal thing I'll need from the organization will be, I'll need a laptop. I'll need, let's say, those, if it is a secured bay project, I'll need the door access. Then I'll need some network access, printer access, some softwares I may need based on the project which I belong to, which means based on my job profile, what project, what job I'm hired for, based on that, it will be decided that what all things I should be eligible for, what all things I should be able to see or work upon and whatnot. Now, let's see the first scenario. Let's say I need a laptop, the minimal basic thing. So how will I approach the team? How will I know who is going to help me? Which is the responsible team who needs to provide me the laptop? So one way could be that, okay, I'll check with my IT support desk and ask them, okay, who is the responsible team? Where do they work and whatnot? They help me with the needful stuff. And then I go ahead and I make a request. Now, if I'm making a manual request, I go to XYZ product and I make a manual request. At times, things are trickier if you do the things manually, correct? If I make a product manual request, what it could be there is, what if I'm making an XYZ product request? And now the trouble in that case is what? The trouble in that case is that, okay, if I'm new, I may not know the teams responsible. I may not know, okay, which team is going to help me with hardware products, which team is going to help me with software products, so on and so forth. Always in such cases, what is better? Always in such cases, it is better if I have a platform through which I can request. That is, anytime if it is required for me to know a single tool and make all the requests through that, yeah, it makes my life easy. But if the company doesn't have a single platform, the company says, okay, you need products, you have to figure it out, okay, which team needs to help you in this area. Yeah, it becomes trickier for you because you may not be aware, even if you're working for a long time in that company, you may not be aware about different departments and which department is responsible for what product. So earlier, if you go into the past, if you see how historically the organizations used to work, earlier there was no such concept of a platform. So what employees used to do, let's say I joined the company newly, I'll figure it out, okay, on which floor does the IT support desk sit? I'll approach them, I'll ask them, okay, help me with the needful product. Likewise, if I have to get the printer installed, I'll check with my colleague, with my teammate, okay, where do those team sit, who are the members of it, and I'll make a request. But at times it was being trickier, it was being overwhelming for the employees to know each and every department, who does what and stuff like that. Because obviously, if I'm working for a large scale company, for me to understand the org structure, for me to understand who is responsible in which case, who can help me in which case, is surely a little overwhelming stuff. That's where the need of a tool was felt, a tool where people can go ahead and create tickets. Does that make sense, guys? The need of a platform. So when this tool was created, what better? So when the tool was created, now the ease was the employees doesn't have to know each and every team. Today I work for ABC company. I don't have to know, okay, which team will give me what product, which will help me work with what configuration and whatnot. Whenever I need a product, I just need to go in, raise a ticket inside a tool, inside a ticketing tool, saying that, okay, I need X product, Y product. Now the teams, based on what kind of request you have made for, the ticket will get assigned to the correct team. They will help you with the needful stuff. So obviously the employee's life becomes much more easy. As I said, now we don't have to know each and every team responsible in there. Does that make sense? Are we understanding, guys, the reason behind it? Like why the ticketing tool was required? Olivia, can you hear me now?
Yes, so we do here. A quick question
No, that
on
was
this one.
just 1 second. I'm just confirming with Olivia. Just 1 second. Olivia, are you there? Can you please unmute yourself? Olivia, are you there? It looks like she's not able to. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, the point you raised, like the components which are required for software industries, which we can actually request through ServiceNow, right? So there are some ticketing tools which are actually the Jira ticket, for example, in the STLC, the Order Lifecycle do have something. And why you prefer only the ServiceNow?
We will answer that in a minute. And I'm a little confused. Are you also interested in the training?
No, just would like to give some more depth inside of those. That's the reason why I asked this question.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, guys, that okay, the people are going to raise tickets in the ticketing tool. So is it only for new product or how does it work? Let's explore a bit around that. So first thing first is, obviously, if the company is paying in a tool, we can't give a single, product. We can't give a single process that, okay, it'll only be about a single product. Surely the companies will not like it. If me as an organization, I'm spending in a product, obviously I like features much more than that. So for that reason, what ServiceNow thought about is that, okay, the vision of the tool is to have a single platform through which any in-house employee interaction can be automated. Which means it's not only giving you a platform through which you can request new products, but also today, let's say I have a product and it's not working fine. So if I need request, if I need help in as is product, even then I'll raise a ticket in the tool. There are other scenarios as well. For example, let's say ServiceNow also provides HR management, means HR cases also you can create it in the tool. So there are different applications which surely across training we will be walking through, we'll be learning about. Olivia, can you hear me now? I think your audio is not working there. I can't hear you. I can see you are trying to speak, but no, I can't hear. So if you have any question, Olivia, and if you want to speak, I would say rejoin. Otherwise, if you are okay with this, yeah, we can continue. Okay. Okay, let's continue, Olivia. Maybe if you have some question, you can put it in the chat. I'll pick it up from there. Okay. Now, as one of you asked, Why ServiceNow? Because if you'll see, guys, Jira will not be the correct example actually, but yeah, if you'll see in the history, you will find it out that prior to ServiceNow, there were other ticketing tools already into the market. So when I say so that, okay, a number of tools are already into the market, how did the transition happen? That is, if you do market survey today you will find out that 90% of the industries across the globe are using ServiceNow as their ticketing tool. So when I say it is 90% now, surely one thing which we need to understand is what is that, how did this transition happen? As I said, like if you go in the history, you will figure it out. Prior to ServiceNow, there were a number of ticketing tools already there in the market, and there were obviously quite big brand names also associated. So for understanding that, let me grab a notepad and let's do a little comparison work here. Slide wise, we'll go later, guys. I'm just trying to prepare a base for you, that's it. Now, if I talk so, if you'll see the prior competitors, the major competitors of the tool, you will find it out. There was Remedy. There was HP's tool, which was called HPSM. There was IBM's tool called IBM Tivoli and whatnot. Now, if you see all these tools, if you'll do a historical analysis, you will find out that these tools were quite high in demand prior to ServiceNow. Even you can see big brand names are in here. HP's product was HP Service Manager, IBM's product was IBM Tivoli and whatnot. All these tools were also built on the same approach. All these tools were also ticketing tools. Then what was the reason of the transition? Let's see, let's explore a bit around that. All these prior tools were being delivered to the customer as a platform, as a service. Now, what does that mean? Let's explore it. As the name says that these products were being delivered to the customers as a platform, which means, let's say, suppose I work for Apple, and let's say Apple picked up one of the products. Suppose, for example, Apple is using HPSM. In that case, the day Apple signs the contract with HPSM for its ticketing tool, HPSM is being delivered as a platform, as a service, which means in this case, the customer company, which is Apple in this case, will have to own up every aspect of the tool. The day HPSM delivers the tool to Apple, now Apple is responsible for maintaining each and every aspect of HPSM. That is, Apple has to take care of the database, of the server, plus the UI of the tool. Now it's Apple's responsibility in there to come in and help it with the needful. Okay. Which means what? Which means we need to understand in this case that once the contract is signed, as you can see, the tool owner doesn't have any access to any aspect of the tool. Which means, obviously, in this case, security is better. Only the Apple company is now able to access every aspect of the tool, which means obviously the security is better. But in this case, the overhead is more. Why? Because now in this case, Apple has to take care of every aspect, which means in this case, Apple needs to hire minimum of 3 different type of resources to maintain the tool. Apple needs to hire people who understand database, people who understand server scripting, plus the people who understands the look and feel, the front end of the tool. Now, but what is the trouble there? The trouble there is that if you see any of the ticketing tool, guys, the purpose of ticketing tool is to automate. It is to automate in-house employee interaction. The agenda, the vision of ticketing tool is never targeting the customer of the company. It is only targeting the employees of the company. Through the ticketing tool, you are getting a platform through which the employees can communicate with each other in-house technically. That's the vision of the ticketing tool. Okay. So when this was the case, how do things work? We need to understand over here in this particular one up is that at any given point in time, when I say so that it is a ticketing tool, it was becoming a little overwhelming to use these products, any of these tools, because as I said, now the companies have to hire every aspect of the tool, technicians who know every aspect, technicians who know different areas or whatsoever. So it was becoming a little overwhelming for the customers to use. But when ServiceNow came into picture, guys, ServiceNow was being offered as a software, as a service. In this case, ServiceNow says to the customer company that, okay, the ServiceNow, once you sign the contract, ServiceNow will maintain the database and server of the tool. So let's say again, if I take Apple as a customer, Apple only will have to take care of the front end changes or customization to the tool. Whereas DB and server access and DB and server maintenance and issues and whatnot, ServiceNow will own it up. So obviously in this case, in comparison to the prior tools, now the company only has to hire one type of resource, which is nothing but ServiceNow resource. They are called ServiceNow resource. The front end changes are nothing but. For you to do that, you have to know the ServiceNow specific scripting. That's how ServiceNow has visioned that. What does it mean? We will see it in the course. But yeah, that's the major difference there. That's the major reason for the transition. Is that making sense, children?
Yeah.
Now, we may have a question in here that, okay, what all are we going to learn as part of this course? As part of this course, it will be around 30-35 hours course in which we'll be covering 3 different aspects of the tool. We will be learning starting with the admin stuff, then development, and then we'll be closing the topic by learning the integration. Yep. So that's what the vision of the course is. Now, why do you need this?
Which means you also cover the scripting, right?
Yeah. Now, why do you need this training? So what ServiceNow has done, guys, for easy learning and development and whatnot, ServiceNow has developed its own syntaxes. That is, for each and every aspect of the tool, you will see ServiceNow specific syntax, ServiceNow specific scripting, and that's what we will be exploring and learning as part of this course. That's why we need to get through the training to understand different aspect of the tool. How do we connect to the server, as in everything. If you see, I'm saying database and server access you don't have, but what if I have to make some DB level changes? So everything you will be doing from the front end of the tool. How is the vision of the trade? Okay. So anyone, any query till here? Okay. So if not any query, let's proceed a bit further. Let's come back here. Okay, prior to that, one more thing I have to talk about. So yeah, when I say we'll be learning scripting, obviously, yeah, you need to practice the stuff for you to explore. So what I want everyone's help is that on a day-to-day basis, when we'll be going, especially in the scripting, yeah, I'll need your help with regular assignments. So how will you do the assignment? So for us to do the assignment, what we need to understand is that over here in this case, ServiceNow is offering free of cost demo URLs, guys, which you can use for your learning and demo purpose. The only thing is, because these are free of cost URL, as I said, you must log in once in a day to keep it active. And it's not chargeable. So yeah, the beauty is, like, I have been using this URL for quite a long time. So yeah, whatever learning you have done, whatever practice you have done, you can always go through to validate. Yeah, so that's that. So now coming back in here, what are we saying in this slide? So we are saying ServiceNow is nothing but it is a software platform. Which means what? Which means if you see today, how are we accessing the tool? It is, we are accessing the tool through the web-based interface. The only prerequisite for you to use the tool is you must have internet access for you to access the tool. There is not any hardware and software prerequisite. If you have the internet, yeah, you're good to use a URL. So that's why it is a web-based interface. That's why it is called, because how are we accessing? We are accessing it via the internet. There is no such hardware and software prerequisite for you to use. What it does, it supports the IT service management and it is automating the day-to-day process of the company. When I say so, what does it mean? When I say so, it means over here in this particular one up that at any given point in time, when I'm talking about the tool, it's giving you a platform through which day-to-day IT need, IT requirement of the employees, they can automate, they can raise tickets in the tool. I need a new product, I go ahead, raise a ticket. My laptop is crashed, again, a different application I use, but again, in that case also I'm creating a ticket for Kyle. I may need, let's say, to report certain HR, like maybe onboarding, offboarding request, even that you can do via the tool. So there are so many different aspects which you can do over here in this case, which will automate over here in this case. Okay, so it is just a demo, so I think half an hour is more than enough. Anyone, any questions? I'm going to take that. Anyone, any questions for me, guys? Sridhar, you want to say something?
Yeah, after the training, if we need some assistance, like later on, like.
For job support, we charge
Yep.
separate.
Okay,
We do provide that, but yeah, it is chargeable.
got it.
Anyone, any other question for me? Okay, if not, then I think we are good to wrap up the session, guys. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, guys.